next I'm just going to show you some more factorising questions, factorising of quadratics. Remember, factorising just means putting into brackets. Now, when you see x squared, x and a number, like in these questions, remember that means we're going to be factorising into two sets of brackets, like this, okay? Now, some people, when they see these questions, they just like to experiment and guess the numbers that go inside here. Now, that's fine, but sometimes that can take quite a long time, and sometimes there are lots of factors to choose from. So I'm going to show you a method called PAF, P-A-F, to help you find the numbers which need to go inside the brackets. So, in this method PAF, P stands for product, and remember product means multiply. A stands for addition, which is plus, and F stands for factors. Okay, so we find the product by multiplying this number here in front of the x squared with the number at the end. So 6 multiplied by -2 gives me -12. The addition is the coefficient of just the single x term. So in this case, it's just +1. Now, for the factors, you have to think, what two numbers multiply to give -12 and add to give 1? Well, I know those factors must be 4 and -3, because 4 multiplied by -3 is -12, and if I add those two numbers together, I get +1. Now, you might not be able to come up with these straight away, so if you're struggling to find the factors, you could always start writing out the factors of -12. So 1 times -12 and -1 times 12, 3 times -4, and so on. And then you just experiment and work out which ones add to give 1. Okay? Now that I've got my factors, I'm going to write out the quadratic again, but when I get to the x part, the x term, I'm going to rewrite it with my new factors. Okay, so I'm not actually changing the quadratic, I'm just rewriting it in a different way. Left out the x there, oops. Okay, so all I've done is I've written out the same quadratic, except the x part I'm now rewriting in terms of my new factors. So it's actually the same thing. 4x minus 3x is still 1x, so it's still the same quadratic. Now, for the next part, you must take the first two terms in this quadratic and go back to